Saibai, as I said in my report, things have changed. It's a repeat of the same semi-final on paper, but things seem to have changed. Let's start with the venue. That was played on a batting-friendly pitch in Adelaide. This one will be played on a low, bouncy, spin-friendly track in Guyana. Do you think that changes the equation? If it does, how?
Definitely, because look, the pitch in Adelaide did not help our bowlers at all. Our bowlers were nullified, their efforts were nullified on a very good batting pitch at Adelaide. On the other hand, here in Providence in Guyana, the pitch will be something which will certainly help the Indian bowlers. The Indian bowlers, the variety that they have, the new ball attack of Arshdeep and Jasprit Bumrah, left and right hand combination, and then of course the spinners coming and bowling what they did all this in this tournament. And Hardik Pandya, the way he's been bowling and picking wickets, certainly gives hope that it'll be a different story here in Providence, Guyana.
Okay, Saiva, you spoke about the conditions. They've changed. We've established that. Let's talk about the Indian team. We heard from the English camp. Matthew Mott, the coach, came yesterday and said, listen, that last Indian team in Adelaide did not know what was a good total on that pitch. They were not maximizing their batting potential. He says that this Indian team he can see is maximizing their batting potential. Do you see a change in the attitude and the approach also of Indian batting, Adelaide versus Guyana?
It definitely does, because look at the way the Indian openers have been going in the first 6 overs. Whether they're getting out or not, the worry about getting out is no longer there. It's the awareness that come what may, with the depth that Indian batting lineup has, that you've got to try and maximize the number of runs you can score in the power play when there are only 2 fielders in the deep. So with that intent, the Indian batting has changed considerably.
Okay, Monty, let me come to you on this one. You heard Mr. Gavaskar there talking about the advantage, the slight advantage that the Indian team has based on the conditions as well as their approach. But I want you to set this game up for us. Most analysts are predicting that India hold a slight edge over England in this encounter. Do you agree? Please set the game for us.
Yeah, look, I agree. England, for England to beat India, there's going to be a few factors. In my opinion, Rohit Sharma's wicket, because his strike rate's phenomenally high at the moment, and how he took on the Australian pacers. Will he able to do that on a slow, low service against the England fast bowlers? And if he bats throughout the whole power play and not get out, I think then he gives a perfect platform, to set England a really big total. Another factor is obviously Jasprit Bumrah. His 4 overs, he hasn't gone the distance. But we know this India team, when they play the semi-finals or they get to the big stage, they just somehow don't get over the line. What if he has just a bad day today? What if his 4 overs go the distance? Because, T20 cricket is like that. Josh Butler's form is really good at the moment. He took on the spinners against America. Can he provide, that similar form against, Akshar Patel and Kuldeep Yadav? So when I look at the overall picture, it's the Rohit Sharma wicket is very important. Also, I think Rishabh Pant's in really good form. The 4 overs of Jasprit Bumrah. And then with England, I think it's again, if Phil Salt and Josh Butler get England off to a good start, I think that's where they build their platform, where they then say, right, any ball just goes like a free hit. They go into that fearless mentality. But India have been playing this type of cricket over the last couple of years, where England have probably been playing over the last, few more years. It's just the wicket. On a slow, low wicket, can England outperform, against the Indian bowlers? That's going to be the biggest question, in my opinion, because I just think that when you look at England's batting lineup, it's strong. Everyone's in really good form. It's just going to be how they adapt their game, because it's not Barbados pitch; it's a different pitch altogether. And if they adapt really well, I think England could beat India.
Okay, that's very interesting. You talk about the conditions, Monty. Just let me, further on that. Do you see the fact that India have had a spotless campaign so far? They've been undefeated. They've been clinical in their performance. England, on the other hand, have had a start-stop sort of a campaign in this World Cup. Games washed out, a loss here and there. Do you think that makes a difference? We keep talking about rhythm, we keep talking about form, we keep talking about momentum. Do you see that as a difference maker too today?
Well, you look at the memories of a 50-over World Cup, Ahmedabad versus Australia. Everyone thought India were going to win that, but they choked under pressure. So again, England will be saying, guys, India do choke a semi-final big games. Let's do the same thing at them. Let's go after them. Let's go at them really hard. We know we're a really big team, and we play our best cricket the bigger the stage it is. And this is where I just think, this is a much hardened Indian team, in my opinion. I think they've hardened from that experience. And, it's going to be, Adil Rashid's 4 overs is again going to be critical on this slow, low surface. Moeen Ali's as well. I think he'll have to bowl 4 overs as well. So how the spinners operate, how, Rishabh Pant, we know he'll play extravagant shots and then he'll play like a silly shot reverse sweep and just get out backward point or something, being over maybe confident at times. That's the bit they've got to, be very smart and very sharp. But the biggest wicket's going to be Rohit Sharma for England. Simple as that. He's the guy who sets the platform. And let's say if he goes after the England bowlers, then it could be a different ball game. So, I think that's what the England camp will be thinking. Get Rohit Sharma early and let's go after Jasprit Bumrah. Let's not shy away from him. And then India will be in deep trouble.
Okay, 2 players that Monty has spoken a lot about in this particular broadcast. Rohit Sharma's wicket, he says, is going to be crucial. Then those 4 overs that will be bowled by Jasprit Bumrah. But the larger point, Sunny bhai, that I was talking and Monty also alluded to that, was big games, right? Big games, India on occasions has faltered. Look at the 50-over World Cup. You do really well, but in the final you falter. That fear of failure we've seen with the Indian team, and in a sense, Rohit Sharma on the eve of the game kind of accepted that, yes, it did play a part in India losing crucial games. Do you think that is something that India has put aside in this tournament?
The fear of failure is no longer there because it was more as a batter, the fear of getting out. Now, when you know that it doesn't matter if you get out looking to score maximum runs, that is the accepted way in the change room, then I don't think the fear of getting out will be there. And therefore, this is the reason why we see maybe a couple of wickets going in the first 5-6 overs. But at the same time, as we saw against Australia, we had so many runs in the first 6 overs that took the game away from Australia.
Okay, Saiba, the other thing, I wonder if it's going to be a catch-22 situation. We've already established it's going to be a slow, low pitch here. That means not conducive to stroke making. Yet we've seen Indian openers, you've spoken about their approach, being aggressive. We know that probably the best time to be aggressive is those first 6 overs. What do you do if you're the Indian top order? Be aggressive, utilize the new ball in the power play and get as much as you can, or be a bit more circumspect because this is going to be a low-scoring ground and try and bat your way through the entire innings. What should be the approach?
Just attack and be aggressive because, like I said, there is great batting depth. And so not to worry about what happens in the first 6 overs, except, of course, you don't want to lose 3 wickets in the first 6 overs for 15 or 20 runs. That's no help. But if you look to get about 50, 55, 60 in the first 6 overs, that is about 9 runs to 10 runs and over, that'll be, and lose maybe a wicket, that'll be the perfect start for the Indian team.
Okay, that's Sunny Gavaskar telling you what is the approach that the Indian batters must have. We are all set for that big semi-final.